Hello, I'm Jamie Rambo, and I'm calling myself the Biblical Scholar. Today we're going to be talking about hell. In my last video, I covered a bit about it. I compared it to the Old Testament version of Sheol, or what they translate as hell, and what we now know actually means grave. But what about these other translations in the New Testament? What about Gehenna? What about the lake of fire, the eternal blaze that God sets when He returns for the second judgment? Well, I didn't cover that a lot. So what I wanted to do is go ahead and jump into it in this video and try to make an actual breakdown where by the end of this video there will be no dispute that hell is not eternal, it doesn't even have an eternal fire, and that it's not a place for people to be tormented for missing, the mark, of Yehova our God. So let's just jump into this. In the Old Testament, lake of fire is actually used quite a few times. Now let me just talk to you about something real quick. When I choose NIV in these different versions, what I'm actually doing is just showing you the contrast between the different translations. Everyone knows you can pick up one Bible and find one thing, and another Bible and find right around the topic, but it says something just slightly different. So what does it really say? And what I do is I go and break down the Hebrew, I go and actually translate it myself. With the Greek, I look at the multiple translations and go read multiple reports on it and look at the actual Septuagint myself and see if I can come across it. The easiest way, and when I say easy, I try to use that terminology offhandedly. It's not really that easy actually, but you pull multiple verses with the exact same Greek word and see the different ways that they use that one word, because it's never the same. When there's a conflict, you're going to find that version says multiple things, and then you kind of have to piece it together and say, well, this is the word that universally works in every spot, and this is why they had to change it, because at this one point they wanted to mean hell, and this one point they wanted to mean something different. So let's just jump in, okay? So where do we find fire in the Bible? Where is this judgment come from? Well, Psalms 11:6, on the wicked He will rain fiery coals and burning sulfur. A scorching wind will be their lot. So it seems like, we're starting off a theme here. We have the pillar of fire where He leads them out. It seems like God really loves fire. And there is meaning behind that, actually. It's the purification of fire. When fire burns it up, you're left with the purest form left, no bacteria. As we know, in our scientific age, fire will purify just about anything. You hold a lighter on a needle, you're guaranteed there's nothing growing on that. Moving on with the flame theme here, we have Ezekiel 38:22. I will execute judgment upon him with plagues and bloodshed. I will pour down torrents of rain, hailstones, and burning sulfur on him, and on his troops, and on the many nations with him. Okay, well, what does this have to do with the lake of fire? I'm just kind of showing that, fire is used a lot in the Bible. It's a reoccurring theme for punishments brought upon people. So Daniel 12:2, multitudes who sleep in the dust of the earth will awake, some to everlasting life, others to shame and everlasting contempt. Now this doesn't really say fire here, does it? And actually, this is our first verse that's really prevalent to the topic. In Daniel, he's actually doing the prophecy of the future events and of the second coming of Christ. Which, I shouldn't say Christ, actually. I should say Yeho'shua, the Messiah, since Christos was a whole pagan religion thing going in. And I'll get into a video on that one as well. So actually, what I should say is the second coming of the Messiah, the Son of Man, the Son of God, Yeho'shua. So multitudes who sleep in the dust of the earth will awake. In my last video, we kind of went over the under the earth, Sheol. That will be the place we wait for the second coming. Some of them will awaken to everlasting life, and others to shame and everlasting contempt. So everlasting right there kind of notes the idea that when they awaken, it's everlasting contempt. Well, I mean, if you die, you're everlastingly in contempt. Either way, we'll get to that. New Testament. Let's go ahead and hit that, because I covered Old Testament a lot last time, and I just wanted to kind of run down 2 or 3 verses from the Old Testament that I didn't show last time, especially the Daniel verse which prophesied the future. But however, let's move on to Jesus, or Yeho'shua, which is his real name. Matthew 5:22. But I tell you that anyone who is angry with his brother will be subject to judgment. Again, anyone who says to his brother, Raka, is answerable to the Sanhedrin. But anyone who says, you fool, will be in danger of the fire of hell. Okay, a couple things we got to cover here. What does raka mean? Well, raka was an intent to kill, like a threat. If I said raka to you, you were pretty sure that I was saying, you know what I mean? But Jesus, Yeho'shua, says to the people, I'm telling you that while the Sanhedrin, the judges of the judgmentalness back then, the ones who would pass down judgment on you, while they'll get you for threatening someone's life and basically threatening to mortally wound someone, I will get you for you saying just, you fool, to your brother. So anyway, but that's a whole nother thing. Let's move on to the part where he says, in danger of fire of hell. I mean, it kind of seems like Yehoshua backs up hell, right? Let's just move on to another verse. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and I'm seeing this wrong. I mean, if Yehoshua said it, then who am I to counter that logic, right? Gotta love English translations. Either way, Revelations 21:8, it kind of goes into it too. But the cowardly, the unbelieving, the vile, the murderers, the sexually immoral, those who practice magic arts, the idolaters, and all liars, their place will be in the fiery lake of burning sulfur. This is the second death. Okay, well, wait a minute. Fiery lake of hell, or no, the fires of hell, Jesus. And then Revelation says that the fire lake of burning sulfur, this is the second death. Man, I think I kind of covered that in my last video where I was like, you can't have everlasting life if you messed up. You have to have everlasting undeath. I guess this is backing it up. I mean, the second death, the second undeath, or everlasting. Let's just kind of move on. I mean, I feel like maybe I'm missing the picture here. Matthew 5:29-30. If your right eye causes you to sin, gouge it out, throw it away. This is better for you to lose one part of your body than the whole body to be thrown into hell. Man, it's like all these words, hell and fire. Maybe I'm not telling you guys the truth. I don't know. Mark 9:45. And if your foot causes you to sin, cut it off. It's better for you to enter life crippled than to have 2 feet and be thrown into hell. I could have sworn I already broke this down. Maybe, I don't know. Or is it that possibly I'm reading the NIV continuously? And that maybe the NIV uses hell and everlasting, when maybe that's not really what those words are? Well, the World English Bible for Mark 9:45 says, if your foot causes you to stumble, cut it off. It is better for you to enter into life lame, rather than having your 2 feet to be cast into Gehenna, into the fire that will never be quenched. Wait a minute. Okay. So Gehenna, whatever that is, right? I mean, sounds like a weird word. And then to fire that will never be quenched. Well, that can mean everlasting. I mean, everlasting fire is obviously non-quenchable. Let's move on. I mean, it seems like there could still be a hell at this point, right? I keep reading these verses over and over. New International Version of Matthew 10:28 says, do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather, be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell. Once again, hell. New International Version, you crack me up. You really do. Because you see the Greek word there, but you want hell to exist, so you keep putting it in there. World English Bible says, Matthew 10:28. Don't be afraid of those who kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul. Rather, fear him who is able to destroy both soul and body in Gehenna. Wait a minute. Destroy both soul and body in Gehenna. Now, I'm not going to get to Gehenna yet, but just this one verse, guys, destroy. It doesn't leave room for him destroying both soul and body, and then he's going to be like, oh, but I'm going to create you an eternal soul now, destroy you, and then make you reapparate into something completely new so that you can burn for eternity in this eternal fire. Let's just move on though. But this has got to be coincidence, right? Maybe that verse is just, that's the mistranslated verse, right, Jamie? I mean, the rest of these they're right, but that one's wrong. Okay, fine. Let's move on. I mentioned Matthew 5:18-9 earlier, but I didn't give you the World English Bible, did I? It says that if your eye causes you to stumble, pluck it out and cast it from you. It's better for you to enter life without one eye, rather than having two eyes and be cast into the Gehenna of fire. What is the Gehenna? I mean, oh, that maybe they're just taking a Greek word and not translating it like they did with grave and Sheol and hell in the Old Testament. You know, maybe that's what they're doing. I mean, it's possible, right? Okay, so that's two verses. What about Matthew 23:15? I mean, woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You travel over land and sea to win a single convert. And when he becomes one, you make him twice as much a son of hell as you are. What? By the way, I love that verse because Yeho'shua, or Jesus as you call him, he's so sarcastic throughout the whole thing, and I can't wait to start doing my videos on him. It's so great. But World English Bible, they say, woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you travel around by sea and land to make one proselyte, which also does mean convert. And when he becomes one, you make him twice as much a son of Gehenna as yourselves. Gehenna? Why does World English Bible keep doing that? By the way, World English Bible, not the only version. I just selected that one for this video. So, isn't this a little bit off point? I mean, I know we're going over hell here, but I told you I was going to focus on the lake of fire. But, I mean, you know me, I'm going to do what I do. Matthew 23:33, you snakes, you brood of vipers, how will you escape being condemned in hell? I love New International Version, because seriously, isn't it a lot better saying it in the NIV version than saying it in the World English Version, which says Gehenna? Oh, besides the WEB, the Aramaic Bible in plain English, the Weymouth New Testament, the Young's Literal Translation, and a couple of others all say Gehenna. So I'm like, what is Gehenna? Now, I do not solely specifically support Wikipedia because anyone can put their information on there. But I give you what Wikipedia says because they agree with all the research that I've been doing, and it's very easy for you to type in the word Gehenna, which I will put here, here, probably right here. I may even put it right here so that you can see how to spell the word, and you can actually go look it up for yourself. But they say Gehenna, Gehinnom, and Yiddish Gehinnom are terms derived from a place outside ancient Jerusalem, known in the Hebrew Bible as the Valley of Son of Hinnom, one of the two principal valleys surrounding the old city. So wait a minute. Gehenna is an actual place? It's not like a spiritual realm or like maybe hidden underneath the earth, like in a pocket of like spiritual mumbo jumbo where hell exists for everybody? No, it's a valley. In fact, Tophet and Hinnom are mentioned in the Old Testament many, many times. And Gehenna was known for their pagan rituals of sacrificing babies to Moloch, an actual god that they used to bring about blessings for the new year, and many other times that they would sacrifice to this god. And the upgraded version of him, guys, is Santa Claus. But I'll get into that genealogy of upgrade of pagan god later on. But nevertheless, this valley was specifically used for sacrifices, and once God realized that, he cursed the land to become the place of his judgment. Either way, let's move on, okay? So you kind of understand now that at least hell is not a spiritual realm of pretendness, an imaginary fairy tale land underneath the earth, where souls go to like journey around in fire. It doesn't exist that way. It's an actual place. So, okay, I've shown that it's a physical place now, but all I'm really telling you is that it's a physical place where there's everlasting fire, right? Okay, let's move on. NIV, Revelations 20:10. And the devil, who deceived them, was thrown into the lake of burning sulfur, where the beast and the false prophet had been thrown. They will be tormented day and night, forever and ever. I mean, that just made it sound eternal. I mean, dang. Forever and ever these guys are tormented. What I do want to say real quick, though, is that forever and ever actually means ages of ages. So I'm saying there's everlasting torment. Okay, but what about Revelations 14:11? That says, and the smoke of their torment rises forever and ever. Ages of ages. I mean, still means forever. There is no rest day or night for those who worship the beast and his image, or for anyone who receives the mark of his name. Where's the difference? I mean, it almost seems like I'm saying the same thing, right? It says smoke. The smoke of their torment will rise forever and ever. Ages of ages. But, Jamie, it says there's no rest, day or night. I hate to break this to you guys, but rest doesn't mean rest. It means restored. They will not be restored day or night. I understand that rest in English almost means that to you. That it means, okay, I mean, when I go to sleep and I wake up, I'm restored, I'm refreshed. But what he's saying is that they will not be restored day or night forever. And I can back that up with more verses later on. We'll continue. And that's in the NIV. Both of those verses are in the NIV, by the way. So as you can see, there's a strange difference between the beast and the people. For one, if we can just accept for the moment being that rest actually means they won't be restored, the smoke travels up for the people, the smoke of their torment, and the beast is actually tormented day and night, period. There is no smoke for him. And if that's not good enough, that's perfectly fine. I will show you more. Mark 9:43. If your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. It's better for you to enter life maimed than with 2 hands to go into hell, where the fire never goes out. That's NIV. Wait a minute. They're saying the fire never goes out here. Once again, I guess you could say that's backing up everlasting. Everlasting fire. A fire that never goes out. Okay, I mean, whatever. Let's see. The World English Bible, of course, says something different. It says, if your hand causes you to stumble, cut it off. It's better for you to enter life maimed, rather than for you to have 2 hands, to go into Gehenna, into the unquenchable fire. But, I mean, that's almost the same thing, right? Except Gehenna. Now, hell, they said the fire doesn't go out. This says unquenchable. And then I found something very strange, guys. I found something that, I mean, I've heard rumors about, but I just haven't ran across it personally yet, where a Bible decided to take a verse out. I mean, I know King James Version's done it for the adultery thing, because he didn't want that to be a sin, or the bestiality thing as well. But NIV? You took one out? Really? I thought you were supposed to be this good version. You can't just take out verses when you want to. Silly. Mark 9:44. So I would show you the NIV version of this, but it would look like nothing. And what's funny, they don't even skip it and call 44 something different. They literally take it out, and the next verse is 45. What? Whatever. Mark 9:44, where their worm doesn't die and the fire is not quenched. The word eternal is never used. The word there is unquenchable. In every single spot you find everlasting fire, you will find that it actually means unquenchable. And in fact, there's verses that literally state that he will throw us into the fire and let the animals and the birds feast on the flesh. The actual punishment is getting thrown into fire, getting burned to death, and then your body not getting a burial. It says in the Bible that there will be no coal to warm yourself by after it's over. It doesn't say that you're going to walk out there in the middle of fire and need a coal to be warmed by. That doesn't even make any sense, guys. So I hope that you understand now that 1, hell is actually a place. It's called Gehenna. 2, there's no eternal fire. It's called the unquenchable fire. You could pick up the ocean with your hand and throw it on that fire, and that fire would burn that ocean up, probably creating an awesome storm. And that, guys, it specifically states over and over and over, this is the second death. This is the second death. This is the second death. Over and over. There's death, not a continuing torment. Now, Hasatan, when I read that verse, I have to say, he's going to be tortured forever and ever. I mean, I read the word. It's ordealized is the actual meaning for torture. It actually means that you're subjected to it. And there's a key difference there. He is tortured day and night. Our smoke is brought up day and night. I mean, there's even verses in the Bible that say that during the everlasting life that there will be no sunlight that enters in, and there will be no nighttime, that the light will come from God. And I'm actually personally thinking that there's a connection between the smoke rising up forever and ever and blocking out the view of it, and we existing with Yeho'shua. I'm not sure. That's kind of like an idea I'm running with. Nevertheless, the point being, the Bible says there's death. It does not state everlasting torment. And that's what I'm going to call a checkmate. Thanks, guys. Hey, guys, I'm Jamie Rambo. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and give me a subscribe if you guys are liking the content. Post down in the bottom any questions you have, any ideas for future references for videos. If you guys have something you want to present that you can't get an answer on, post it, because I'm telling you guys, so far there's not a single question I haven't been able to answer. I've even been able to answer the old tell, is there anything impossible for God? Found that out, and at the same time I feel like that answers the question of, can God create a rock so big that God himself can't lift it? I think the answer is yes, because there are impossible things that God can't do. And I will go ahead and be like blam with the verse right above me so you guys can see that verse, which says that, you know, he can't lie. So if he can't lie, that means there are impossible things for him too. So yeah, I think he could probably create a rock big enough that he can't lift it. But he'd probably have a way of just being like, poof, you don't exist anymore. I'm not really sure that physical muscle has anything to do with it. But if you go to the one where it's like, can Yeho'shua bake a burrito so hot that he himself can't lift it? I guess my true answer to that would be like, if he hasn't already done it, he never will, since God does not change. Either way, that's my little tidbit at the end. Hope you enjoyed the video. Much love, guys. Thank you for watching. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for the subscriptions. Thanks for the support. Deuces.